All right. Hi, everybody. Another awesome episode of Toronto Men's Health What's Up Weekly. We have Chuck. We know who Chuck is, but maybe if you're watching the first time, you don't know who he is.
don't
I know who
don't
Chuck
stumble on
is.
my name,
And
crying out loud.
we have an awesome guest, another fellow Canadian to me, was down in Vegas. I didn't get to meet them. That's how crazy it was. There was so
Yeah.
many Canadians and so many people, but we have Shelby Halawatak. There we go. I got it. I'm sorry. I knew I would. Yeah. And so, anyways, we are here. We're here to talk about everything about the products for us men, but we know that anybody who's watching, they're like, oh, I'm watching for myself. Of course, all these products are for everybody, but we're trying to find a niche for our male friends. So
Our dumb male friends. My dumb
that
male
was
friends.
early. I think there was an over under on how quickly you would throw
Jarvis
that in
probably
here,
won.
and people lost. Yeah, last week you kind of got it into the tail end. So, anyways, Shelby, thanks so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule. We know with life in general, it's a bit crazy busy, but with Trinont over the last couple of weeks with the release of our new product, Transform, it's even been more crazy. So finding guests has been tricky because of that. We're just working it. And so, anyways, thank you for joining. And I want to throw it to you for a quick introduction of who you are.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm Shelby. I've been with the company about, I guess, 16 months now. I'm a Opal. I work shift work. I got 3 kids. I'm trying to work on that shift work thing. I gotta fix that because it's getting old. But yeah, 3 kids that are busy in sports. I work in a potash mine. It's I go 1 kilometer underground and I go to work.
Wow.
From
what age are your kids, Shelby?
My oldest is 13. She's big into her volleyball and she does Brazilian jiu-jitsu. She's actually a pretty high level BJJ competitor.
That's pretty awesome.
My boy's big into football and I guess yeah, he's liking his football, he likes his basketball too. And then I got a 5-year-old daughter too that's hasn't found her thing quite yet, but
she will. So Shelby, what's your routine like with the Trinont products? Like what's a typical day like for you?
Typical like my day. So I guess like my days off, I will definitely be thinking of that Mojo, that's for sure. The Mojo, I get that Mojo, or I'll be heating up that water, I'll get the Mojo going. And in the meantime, I'll have my collagen shot, my glow. And yeah, so I'll hit that Mojo, and I'll go for a workout in the morning, which sometimes I'll throw a couple capsules of boost in my Mojo, and off to the gym I go. And it's been a pretty big game changer with these products.
Yeah, I'm a pretty big fan of the boost and the zest when I go in the afternoon or at evening, just to try and kick it in a little bit. But I have noticed I can do so much more when I take those products than when I forget to take them or think I don't need them. It's just my workout is so much better when I do that. Have you tried the Transform yet?
Oh yeah, I've been doing the Transform. So like I'll kind of take it. See, on my days off, I do a lot of intermittent fasting, so I usually don't have to take it until supper, I guess. And then when I'm working night shifts, I'll take one before my kind of midnight lunch. But
so tell me about your intermittent. I intermittent fast as well. So tell me how you do yours.
So I honestly wake up, I have my coffee, and that is it. Like until you can't even like I do my I'll do the Nourish shake. I'll have a protein shake after my workout at 12, and then I don't eat nothing until supper time. So
how do you like that's enough to get you through caloric wise, like throughout the day? You don't feel tired or just that nourished stuff?
I feel like the shake alone is enough to carry me through till supper time.
Yeah, I think so too. I know for me, excuse me, I intermittent fast. I usually have a clean bar and a banana like around noon. Yeah. I need to have like a sandwich and a yogurt like around 3. That's when I have my first Transform. And then I'll eat around 6:30, 7 o'clock. Yeah. And I won't eat anything after 8. And that's when I have my other Transform. And before Transform, for me anyways, my biggest problem was, or is, I guess, although Transform has kind of solved it, that the cortisol would hit when I got home. So I'd eat so fast, and then I'd continue to eat, and I'd continue to crave because I'm eating so fast and the cortisol has jumped up, and the Transform for me has changed those cravings altogether.
Yeah.
I don't have them anymore after dinner. And I did notice that the biggest thing I noticed for me anyways is, I mean, I'm a pretty positive guy anyways, but my happiness level or my ability to not overreact to negative situations that I might be in. I work in retail. I'm just been so much better since I took the Transform. I don't know if you've had any of that kind of stuff as well.
I would say so. I guess like for when I'm on my Transform at work, like I've noticed a huge energy difference. And I guess like my last few shifts that I work night shifts on, I actually totally cut out. Usually I would have an energy drink. I mean, night shifts, they're hard. I actually cut out these last couple of weeks. I've cut out energy drinks completely, and
Awesome.
I'll have my zest on hand if I need it. But like I haven't even needed the zest. It's been pretty remarkable.
What about you, Billy?
Well, I was just going to follow up because I was going to ask about kind of how you use the products before Transform with the shift work. And so you mentioned that you probably had a zest before, but you still kind of had energy drinks. So how's it changed? What did it look like before on shift work with Trinot products, being with the company for like 18 months versus with Transform?
Well, obviously I had that zest to get me through night shifts still. Sometimes I would take my energy drinks and the zest to get through, but like now I've basically with Transform around, I feel the energy levels are definitely a lot higher. And yeah, like I guess I'm not very good at sleeping for night shifts, but like the odd night shift, like I'll probably still have a zest just to get through, just to have, that, keep that focus in mind. Cause I mean, we're underground stuff doing running equipment and that too. So you got to stay focused and alert, right? But,
yeah, overnights are really tough.
Yeah.
I was wondering, I'm trying to figure out my routine because obviously it's not dependent on a rich with our digestive enzymes, but they do complement each other a little bit. And I've heard, okay, obviously on the instructions for Transform, it says take it about an hour before eating and then kind of enrich 15, 30 minutes before. I've had some trouble remembering, or based on like I'm driving home and supper's within an hour. I don't know if I've hit my mark. How's your routine been in terms of trying to hit a certain one, or does it matter for your body type? I'll throw it to Shelby first. Like when you take the Transform, is it just you're just trying to get it in before food, or you dedicated a certain time for?
I have. There's times where I do forget, but like today, most of the days I do remember to have it. That hour 45 minutes before the big supper comes. So I've been pretty good at. I'm really actually kind of on a pretty good routine with all my Trinot products. Like it's all kind of like timed well, I guess, for me. Again, I got a pretty good strict routine down.
Yeah. I'm having a tough time. What about you, Chuck? And are you able to kind of fit that in? It's a new routine for me too. Like we have it 2 weeks, so I'm having a hard time remembering it into that routine yet. I'm trying my best, but
I push it off. Like, so if I'm not hungry since I've been taking the Transform. So if I'm thinking that I'm going to eat at 6 and I look up and it's 6 and I haven't taken the Transform, I'll take it then and I'll wait until 6:30. It's not a big of a deal. I have been telling people, like for me anyways, so Shelby, in case you don't know, I'm missing 18 inches of my colon from cancer. And so for me, I like to test it out. For me, it's a pill with that sandwich and yogurt and 2 pills with dinner. That's all I need. Depending on the size of the meal, if it's a smaller dinner, maybe I only do 1. But I don't feel energetic as much as I feel better, which maybe some people think is energetic. You know what I mean? Like I'm not tired. I'm sleeping phenomenally. My wife will tell you that I am obsessed with my sleep number from my Fitbit every morning. I try to go to bed around 10. I get up around 6, and I'm trying to get that in. Ever since I started taking this, my sleep number has gone up between 6 and 10 points. I'm just sleeping better. I don't know if it's attributed to that. I mean, it's the only thing that I've really done differently over the past couple of weeks is, taking the Transform. So, Billy?
Yeah, for me actually, and we talked about it a little bit on last week's episode. And some people ask me, "Did you lose some weight right away?" I'm like, actually, because it's been adjusting my diet and I've been figuring out, I didn't lose weight right away. I actually gained some a little bit because, like, all of a sudden I have all this more fiber in my body, and I'm making sure I'm
Yeah.
drinking more water. And so maybe my diet wasn't where I needed to be before in certain areas. But then I go into even last week. There was a couple home games for the Ottawa Senators, my favorite team. And so, am I snacking just because we're in a social environment? Am I having that popcorn, or do I need it? And I definitely, it's the latter one. You're more like, okay, I'm used to having something while I'm watching a game. It's like going to a movie theater and you just buy popcorn because that's what you do, most cases. So I've been learning to unlearn what my typical snacking behavior is. And if I pick something off the counter at work, when somebody brings in something for a birthday or whatever, it all shows up. Um, I pick it out up here, not with my stomach. So I think there is some things that I don't need, and I'm not definitely not hungry. But I think it's compounding, especially if I have something in that 7 to 10 o'clock time frame. But in terms of my routine, very similar, I think, to Shelby, is kind of waking up, having that coffee. Then I make a smoothie, and I kind of have that about an hour and a half as I get to work. And then I have a Mojo and a thermos as well, kind of over the lunch, that ties me through a little bit. So I kind of have like a mid intermittent fast and kind of get through the morning.
Yeah.
And then the dinner is the bigger one for me. So I think that's the biggest takeaways that I haven't figured out yet, if I can time it, because if I'm making my smoothie, I'm like, oh, I'm going to be drinking this in maybe 45 minutes. So I've lost my hour. And then I'm on home. I get home around 4:30 or 5, and we eat a bit earlier at home. So then I didn't get my hour yet. So I'm like, do I keep it in the car? But what if I don't have my water in the car? So it's all things I need to do. But I am loving the product, and to Chuck's point as well, it's not about everybody who kind of picks out certain things that they want the product to do right away, but your body has to kind of cleanse itself too, within it, and kind of get back to, we call it homeostasis all the time. Like, if you're starting a new product, like I was only 5 days in, 7 days in, and now 2 weeks in, lucky to have it, bringing it back from Vegas. That's not a big cycle for your body, even though people might have these results. So I'm not feeling super more energetic, but I'm definitely not feeling tired. I am feeling lighter. And that I threw out a message on my social, like, I didn't know what brain fog was until I kind of didn't have it. Right? You can kind of say, like, not have it, right? You don't know what you don't know. So all of a sudden, that clarity you mentioned, Shelby, about kind of operating machinery. Well, that's huge. Definitely, you don't want to have a tired brain or not be as there acute mentally. So I think for me, that's the biggest thing with the new product. And I'm still getting used to it. I love it. I don't know if in my mind it's past glow. I'm not saying, and glow is like through the moon. So like, if it's even close to that, it doesn't mean this is a bad product. It is an awesome product, game changer for sure.
Shelby, do you tell the guys you work with like what you're taking? Do they ask about it or anything like that?
Yeah, actually they do. Yeah, quite a bit of them. There's quite a bit of guys that are big into the fitness and health, and I'd say half of them, I guess, but a lot of them are skeptical. Like, just not. It's like, come on, like they're walking around drinking energy drinks 3 shift. It's sickening to watch some of these, how much of these monsters and stuff they drink, and it's just like, I got a way better alternative for you guys. But
and you would save them money. I mean, if you just drew that up, I mean, what is, I don't even know what a monster costs anymore. $4 for one, so it's $12 a day on something that is just
right,
hurting your body. I mean, it just is. Where,
yeah,
our products just don't do that. So
You're using American pricing too.
yeah, I'm using. I don't even know. True. Well, as an American, I guess I would. Right? So
Yeah.
that's crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Yeah, but no, I tell them about the glow, because the glow's the big one. Like, with I have a background of I used to be big into skateboarding, snowboarding, hockey, all the impact sports. So like my knees, ankles, everything is like, it's a big difference with being on the glow compared to before. Like, my ankles were so bad. Like, I was constantly just rolling my ankles underground at work all the time, and I'm functioning so well these days in the gym just because of glow. It's crazy. Feel like I've skimmed probably 10 years off my life, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm 59 and I don't hurt anywhere. I just, and I chalk it up to the glow, because I did before. I would get, cramps in my feet at night or in my calves. I have arthritis in my lower back that would act up. It just, I mean, all it would take is me bending over and it would act up. And or the example I give all the time is grabbing a screwdriver and using a screwdriver, and then I got to use my other hand to pry that hand open off of the screwdriver. And I don't have any of that anymore. I mean, I go hit 150 golf balls on a Wednesday night, and then I go play 18 Thursday morning, and I'm fine. There's no, I'm not hurting in the morning, any of that kind of stuff. So yeah, the collagen, the Glow Collagen has been a big game changer for me.
Oh, huge.
Yeah, we were talking about that lifespan versus health span, and that came across in Vegas at the Tronaut Leadership Academy. But Chuck, you've always mentioned about it. It doesn't matter if you live to 90 or 100, 110, whatever, if you are not in good health to enjoy it. And so not only are we enjoying it now, we are feeling like we could have done and maybe didn't do over the last 10 years, 8 years, depending when you got into Tronaut. So you can't put a price on that. Investing in yourself is not an expense.
Correct.
That's huge. So I'm going to throw it back to you, Shelly. We talked a lot about the products, our routines, and so forth. So you can take the question which way ever you want, whether it's the product or the business side. But basically, there's been lots of things going on with Tronaut, but we're not a new company. I've been around for 10 years. The health side, there's so many things about this company that are awesome, including the products. If somebody was just watching this for the first time or watching it again as they're getting their feet wet in terms of what Tronaut is, what would you say? Why is the time now for them?
Well, I mean, we have such a lineup of great products right now. And I mean, that's what turned me in, because obviously my wife is the one that got me into this. And I was skeptic at first. I was like, oh, I've seen this before. More of these health products and another pyramid scheme. I was like, no, I'm not having it. But anyways, I did. I like health supplements. I always give them a good try, and I think I started with the Mojo, and then it was the Mojo, the Zest, and the Glow, I guess. But I had the worst tendonitis in my left elbow at the time, and I think it was 3 days later, and I was like, is this really going away? Because I was getting this thing cracked, going to the chiropractor and then microblade and stuff. And it's sure enough, after a whole 1 week of being on Glow, it was completely gone. So that kind of turned a switch for me. I was just like, man, maybe these products are they're really the Mojo got me lifted to a certain level where I've never felt before in the mornings, just how your mental clarity is and stuff. And I was like, you know what? I'm in the gyms all the time. I could totally push this stuff to people, and because a lot of people I work out with and work with, they listen to me because I know. But I think the most frustrating thing is getting people to consistently try the Glow.
Yeah, they kind of, I mean, in our line of work, where routines take a long time, and a consistent part of it. So I always say at least 2 months, 3 months is a good benchmark for your body. And then also taking it, if you took one bottle in 1 month of Glow, that's not getting us to that sort of peak performance of what we need to get to 2 months. So you're right. It is we're in a society where people want results right away. And we do get success stories, big aha moments, whether it's your elbow, it's somebody's back, or you just got out of bed without thinking of it that day. Huge. But sometimes people are like, oh, a lot of that stuff is happening inside. So when they don't get that external piece, or even, and I've never even mentioned this, Chuck, before on the show, my wife started Glow at the end of August this year. I've been with for 20 months. Same thing. I can tell you, and I haven't mentioned it to her, and I'm going to, but hair, skin, things like that. Yeah, it's going to catch on. No, and it will be, of course, a positive. You don't want to be like, well, you wore this, because you always got to tiptoe, right? And say,
I don't want to do the show by myself next Sunday, Billy. I don't want you to get
in trouble, right? Well, he took it as a backwards way. What I wasn't before? No, exactly. That's why I'm tiptoeing. So I think that's the biggest thing, is that when we're doing this, we have to kind of lead by example. People who trust the three of us, we're living it. We're not sharing products we haven't tried and put on our own body. I always say that my mom wouldn't use. She uses the Glow. all those type of things are so huge. But to your point, Shelby, playing hockey with the guys, Bill, I noticed like you just had a game last night. Like you were skating, you were forechecking. I played defense, and then like what happened? I'm like, I don't know. Like it's just I just feel better. I feel lighter. I've been on this for 2 years. You've seen a difference. Oh, okay. And so I tell them about it, and they're like, oh yeah, I'll tell my wife. Nope, I'm telling you. Listen, buddy. And we're just so stubborn. You skeptical, and we know what Chuck uses. So I think it's just. I think we're getting there. I think having shows like this, because this idea of Trinom Men's Health wasn't the first of its kind. Obviously, everybody was trying to do it in pockets. We all wanted to try to get our guy friends to be able to jump in to see themselves in the products. However, this is more central, and we're meeting so many other people like yourself, like every other people that are kind of in Saskatoon, people in the States, and just talking about it so people can see the amount of people that are tagging their husbands or friends within the Ripple Effect or the Make Waves with, a group. It's just, it's hitting the point from that regard. And we always go back to Chuck, if we even just feel better, awesome. If we make a couple bucks to buy our products for next month, even better. The rest is the icing on the cake. And we wouldn't change that mantra. What do you say, Chuck?
Well, these are solutions that are supplements that can be a solution for you. And just because everybody's different, you got to listen to yourself. Right now, there is a common thread when you hear about what collagen has done for, every guy that's on here that talks about collagen talks about tendonitis and it went away, arthritis and it went away. And we're not claiming that it's a cure. It's just what it did for me. I don't have a problem, when I take it. So, but I think too that, you said it before, Billy, like people are asking about Transform. Did you lose weight? Well, I'm gonna tell you what, I didn't gain any. I put pictures up of what I ate in Vegas and what I eat. It's not like I'm sitting there watching all the time. It's a stack of pancakes sometime. I'm not gaining any weight, so that's even something, where maybe I would have gained 5 or 10 pounds and had to like work really hard, to lose it all. And that's not happening either. So I think if you listen to your body and really look at the solutions that we offer, that'll be a good thing for a lot of people and get our guy friends to do it.
Yeah. We went to the buffet at the Luxor on that morning, and I saw the plate that Chuck had, including myself. I'm just saying, in your story, when he said he ate, like that day probably would have done me for the week. And same with me. I kind of came back and didn't change it. But to the point of this piece, so Shelby, I'll give you the final word. Kind of anything that you wanted to share that we kind of didn't hit. Tell us more a little bit about something. Is there something on your mind, or do you think it's all summed up nicely in our conversation so far?
Well, I think it's pretty good. It's just, I guess it's just, I wish people would just give it more of an effort, like the collagen. Like it's frustrating when you give guys a bottle to try, and it's like, well, and then you talk to them like a couple weeks later, like, so how's it been? Like, and then they're like, oh, well, I took it for 2 days in a row, and then I missed a day, and then I think I missed 3 days. And it's just like, you're not going to, like, you got to stay consistent with this stuff. And I think if people did, they would see more benefits, and I think they would actually choose to come on board as well.
Yep. I agree with that. Yep.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think that's the biggest thing, is getting them to see the solutions that these offer, even with Transform. They see, like, obviously it's a newer product. It's an amazing, revolutionary new product, but they still reach out and say, I would like more information on your product. I'm like, okay, still, what are you trying to solve here? Because most likely you will hit some of the points while you reached out, but at the same time, it may not be the perfect one for you in that instance. So at least we ask that question. I'm always confident that our associates do. But with that note, I think we could talk for a really long time tonight. So first of all, thanks, Chuck, as always. Episode 22 in the books. We love it. Shelby, thanks so much. We'll keep in touch, and I appreciate you joining your busy schedule.
Thanks, Shelby.
All right. Have a good night, everybody.